Hello teachers, and welcome to the norming video for the constructed response section for 4th grade science for CA3. Before you begin norming, please download or print the exemplar responses that you'll find on Blackboard underneath this video in a PDF. So as we get started, you'll see that on the left-hand side I have the scoring rubric, and on the right-hand side I have the actual constructed response that scholars filled out. So starting with number 1, for number 1, it gives scholars this scenario that was written by a scholar, and the experiment has to do with soil particle size and how water flows through the soil. And so you'll see that this scholar made an entry in the science lab. This is a setup of what it looked like. And then right down here at the bottom, the scholar wrote out her results with different colors of soil, so gray, tan, brown, etc. So as we move it down to number 1, you can see right over here that number 1, the column is laid out, or the table is laid out right over here, what it should look like. So on the first page, we can see that number 1 will be worth 0 to 3 points for this entire first section right here. So for number 1, scholars should first, they should organize the results and label the headings and include the units in the data. So the first thing we'll want to do is have one of the columns be labeled particle size and another be labeled the amount of water. So it doesn't matter what order they go in, but they should be labeled. Here's some additional wording for the responses. Just make sure that it's not just water. That is an unacceptable response because it doesn't tell whether it's temperature of water, amount of water, volume of water. So you want to be very clear that it should be amount of water that is written there, or one of these variations. So if they write the headings, they will get 1 point. If they have interpreted the paragraph on the first page and written out under particle size, for example, 2 millimeters, 1.5 millimeters, 1.0 millimeters, and 0.5 millimeters, they will receive 1 point if all the numbers are correct on the particle sizes and the amount of water. And then they will receive their third and final point if the units are correct in the table. I'm going to show you the 3 credit responses down here. So these are perfect responses to number 1. And you'll see that they can either write average particle size or particle size. They can include the units in the table, or they can include the units as part of the heading, but they must include them somewhere. So that will be a total of 3 points, 1 for the heading, all the numbers being correct, and then the third is for the units. All right, as we go down to number 2, number 2 asks scholars to draw a conclusion that can be drawn from the data and to write their answers in complete sentences. So it's worth 2 points because they get 1 point for a correct conclusion, and then they get 1 point if they wrote it in a complete sentence. So for example, their conclusion can be, gray soil allows the most water to flow through. And that can be a simple conclusion, and it's written in a complete sentence. That would be the full 2 points. Here's some other conclusions that can be drawn. Please note down here it says not to allow credit for any statements that are an observation rather than a conclusion. So for example, gray soil, you'll see right here, the observation is it has the largest particle size. That's an observation, but not a conclusion that can be drawn from the data. So scrolling down for number 3. So number 3 is worth a total of 6 points, and it includes writing in complete sentences as well. So for this first part right here, it's asking about water and about renewable resources. Is water renewable or non-renewable? So they should write out that in some way in a complete sentence that water is a renewable resource. If they write that water is a renewable resource, they get 1 point. If they do not write in a complete sentence, you should not take away the point. They will just receive 1 additional point at the end if they completely wrote in complete sentences. For the second part right here, it says state 3 ways that water can be conserved at home. These will vary quite a bit. Here are some examples in the rubric. So they could do something like turn off the water while you brush your teeth, or that people can fix their leaky faucets. They will receive 1 point for each way that they write to conserve water, up to 3. And again, do not take off any points. If they don't write in complete sentences, they'll get that point at the end. This third part is, why is it important to conserve water? So here's an example right here that water is an important resource that can be polluted, or water is an important resource that can be used up quickly if people are practicing wasteful practices. Scholars should receive 1 point for this, noting that it's an important resource, that it can be used up, hard to clean, something along those lines. And then finally, after those 5 points, they will receive their 6th point if they wrote in all complete sentences. Down here at the bottom, you'll notice for this question also some additional wording that scholars may use that is written out here for you. And that is the last one for science. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, please write them in the discussion board that is on Blackboard. Thank you.